Today we're going to talk about Frieren.
We are indeed. And not just a quick chat. We're really going to dive deep into Frieren, the main character from Frieren, beyond Journey's End. Got a good pile of source material here, profiles, notes, some really specific excerpts, all focusing on her.
Exactly. And, she's such a fan favorite, isn't she? This ancient elven mage. People often call her the little elf, affectionately. And the sources you've pulled together, they really promise a lot of depth.
Mm-hmm.
So our goal today, basically, is to unpack what makes her so unique. We'll look at her identity, that incredibly long journey she's been on, her personality, which is fascinating, shaped by, well, millennia, her amazing abilities, and, yeah, even some surprising little quirks, all based strictly on this material.
Think of it as getting under the hood, understanding the mechanics behind this legendary figure you might already know.
Okay, let's get into it then. First things first, who is Frieren, fundamentally? The sources clearly state her main role. She was the mage in the hero party.
That's right. And not just any old party. We're talking legendary status here. She adventured with Himmel the hero, Eisen the warrior, and Heiter the priest. Icons, really.
And together they did something huge. A 10-year quest.
10 years, yeah. Which culminated in defeating the Demon King.
Yeah.
A massive accomplishment.
10 years, for you or me, that's a significant part of life, right? Maybe the defining part. But the sources are really clear that after Himmel passed away, her life took a different path.
It really did.
She's on a new journey now, traveling with Fern and Stark. They're heading towards this place, Oriel.
Oriel, yes. And the reason, it's incredibly touching, actually. She hopes to speak with Himmel again somehow, even after his death.
Wow. Okay, so that sets the stage. Now, her personality. This seems like where her elven nature really, really comes through.
Oh, absolutely. The sources paint her as, well, generally easygoing, but also often aloof.
Yeah.
Stoic, carefree sometimes. But there's this consistent mention that she lacks.
Tact. Yeah, I saw that. And the reason for that aloofness, the material really points to her perspective on time, doesn't it?
Exactly. She's an elf. She's lived for, what, over 1,000 years at least?
Yeah.
Her time scale is just completely different from a human's. It's not even comparable.
And you see that in little things and big things. Like the sources mention she's terrible at waking up on time, which is kind of funny.
Right. Drives Fern crazy, you can imagine.
But it's deeper than that, isn't it? She genuinely seems to struggle with how fast human life passes, sees it as too short for deep connections, maybe, the kind she's used to forming over centuries.
That's the core of it, yeah. And there's a specific example in the sources that just hits you. That 10-year journey with Himmel, Eisen, Heiter.
Yeah.
She looked back on it and thought it was short.
No way.
Seriously. And she felt like she barely knew Himmel at all until after he died. Imagine that, 10 years fighting alongside someone and only realizing later how little you felt you understood them because your time frame is just so stretched out.
That's profound and kind of sad, actually.
It is. But what's really interesting, according to the sources, is what came next. After Himmel's funeral, that realization wasn't just, a moment of sadness. It was a catalyst.
Ah, okay.
She consciously decided, okay, I need to understand humans better. I need to get their sense of time. Her current journey is largely driven by that resolution, trying to bridge that gap.
So even though she seems stoic, there's this deep well underneath. And the sources actually point out some surprising sensitivities too, right? Like getting embarrassed.
Yeah. She gets flustered about a weakness described as a common apprentice mistake, something she still hasn't overcome after all this time. It makes her feel, I don't know, more grounded somehow.
And the age thing, she hates being called old.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Holds a serious grudge against Stark just for mentioning it, which is hilarious when you think she's literally ancient.
It's such a contrast. And she thinks of herself as an ordinary girl, apart from the whole legendary mage thing.
Right. And the tantrums. The sources mention she could cry for up to 3 days straight. Apparently, it scared the hero party quite a bit.
3 days. Okay. And the temper. Once a decade, but intense for 10 minutes.
Like a little magical microburst of fury. And there's even a hint, just a mention, of maybe some insecurity about her body, being a bit jealous of Fern's figure.
See, these little details from the sources, they really build a picture beyond just powerful elf. They show these very almost human-like sides.
They really do. And speaking of unexpected sides, there's her playful, almost reckless gambling nature.
Oh yeah, the mimics. Talk about that.
Okay, so the sources say she's willing to walk into a trap that has a 99% chance of being Dudley'd mimic.
Just for that 1% chance.
Of getting a rare grimoire inside. It's an insane risk-reward calculation for most people.
It really is. And it's not just treasure, is it? The material says she makes huge gambles in fights, too.
Exactly. Like risking her own life if she sees a way to blame it. It gives her a crucial edge over an enemy. It's this weird mix of ancient caution she has survived a millennium and this sudden high-stakes betting.
Fascinating. Okay, let's shift to her appearance and her stuff. What do the sources say she looks like?
Pretty consistently described. Petite elf, green eyes, those noticeable thick eyebrows, and the iconic long silver hair, usually up in high pigtails, plus the pointy ears, naturally.
And her outfit is very distinct. That striped shirt, the white jacket and skirt, gold trim, red jewel.
Black tights, brown boots, yeah, and the gold teardrop earrings with the red gems. Very recognizable.
But the sources give hints of other looks, too, from different times in her long life.
Right. There's a winter outfit mentioned: white dress, beige coat, blue scarf, and descriptions from the past. Simpler dresses when she was training with Flam, hair down sometimes, then a slightly different outfit during her solitary years after the hero party.
And her staff always with her. Red, gold crescent tip, red jewel, gold bits, red ribbon. That's her focus for magic.
Couldn't do much without it, you'd assume.
And then there's the suitcase. Seems ordinary, brown with metal edges.
But according to the sources, it holds way more than you'd think. Like, enough provisions for her, Fern, and Stark.
And the specific contents listed are amazing. It's like a little museum of her life.
Totally. You've got a magic history book, Flam's writings, but maybe some are fake, the sources note.
A holy scripture, Sign's herb notes, Eisen's hamburger steak recipe, which is vital, obviously.
Obviously.
Yay.
Plus, a close-dissolving potion, you wonder about the story there. Other magical bits and bobs.
And Himmel's mirrored lotus ring, that one hits hard.
It really does. That suitcase tells you so much about her connections, her interests, and that hidden sentimental side.
Okay, now for the big one, her abilities. The reason she's legendary. The sources call her a great mage, Flam's best apprentice, Frieren the Slayer.
Yeah, Slayer, because she apparently killed more demons than anyone in history. That's quite the title.
And her raw mana.
Immense. The sources actually compare it, saying her output surpasses the demon auras and is comparable to Ceres, though only when Ceres is restraining her own power. So, top tier.
But it's not just raw power. Her mana concealment, that's key, isn't it?
Absolutely crucial. Taught by Flam, it's specifically about fooling demons, hiding her true strength from beings who rely on sensing mana.
And she's good at it.
Exceptionally good. Fooled major players like Aura and Falsh. The sources say only the Demon King and maybe Lernan saw through it initially. She can even hide from still, apparently, if she stays perfectly still.
So her whole strategy is often based on deception, on seeming weaker than she is.
Which is brilliant, really. It turns the usual power dynamics on their head.
She's also got resistances.
Yeah, the sources mention she's resistant to most standard binding and hypnosis spells. Calls them an old technique, like she's seen it all before. Which she probably has.
And her analytical skill, that seems just as important as her power.
Definitely. The sources emphasize how she can break down complex magic. She analyzed and countered spells from the 7 Sages of Destruction, like Aura's Guillotine and Mock's Diagold's. Help figure out Buz's barrier. She doesn't just cast, she understands.
Which leads to her huge list of spells. The sources detail quite a few.
Oh yeah, centuries of collecting spells. Where do you even start?
Well, offensively, there's Zoltrek, her main demon-killing magic. But also lightning, hellfire.
Juju Jim and Volzenbell, yeah. And those scary spells, her clone used a black hole, something that shatters space.
And the height of magic sounds ultimate.
Described as a manaless telekinetic repel. A last resort. The sources speculate she hasn't used it in maybe 80 years, implying it was probably for the Demon King fight. She even copied a mana strike from Solitar. Very adaptable.
Defensively, standard barriers, but also that custom spell against Diagolds.
Which she developed after analyzing it. Shows that sharp mind again.
And her support and utility magic is all over the place.
Totally. Sealing Quell for 80 years. Making things float. Golem magic for puppets or giant combat forms. Dispelling Aura's mind controller staff glows gold for that, the sources say.
Identifying poison, though, apparently not her strong suit. Or illnesses, basic goddess magic, even without talent for it.
An unnamed restraint spell using a golden rope.
Yeah.
And that advanced memory transfer magic she used to get Mott's memories via Denkin.
Plus all that folk magic. Simple practical stuff.
Making flowers bloom Flam's favorite, so she avoids it now, which is sweet. Pulling sign out of a swamp, capturing birds, even a super risky vault sealing spell her clone used. It shows the sheer breadth of her magical life.
Okay, so she's insanely powerful and skilled, but the sources also mention weaknesses. which is interesting.
Very interesting. And she herself, according to the material, doesn't think mana is everything.
Right. It says she's lost 11 times to mages with less mana.
Yeah. Demons like Qual and Mocked, another elf, and surprisingly, 6 different humans. It completely debunks the idea that more mana automatically means you win.
And her specific technical flaw.
It's that when she starts casting, her ability to detect mana flickers off for just a moment. A common apprentice mistake, apparently.
Leaving her open to sneak attacks right then.
Exactly. Open to concealed mages in that split second. Now, the source of stress, it's not easy to exploit this. Her other skills usually compensate. But it is a vulnerability, a tiny crack in the armor of Frieren the Slayer.
Fascinating stuff. Okay, before we wrap up, let's hit those fun facts. They add so much color.
They really do. Like her name meaning to be freezing in German. Pretty apt.
And her favorite flower, icicle cherry blossom. Nice. And she hates onions.
Hates them. There's even an illustration mentioned showing a nightmare about giant onions. Poor Frieren.
And the hairstyles. Fern braids it differently based on mood, and the ringlet curls after exploding a mimic. That's specific.
Practical magic side effects, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And the little cameo mentioning Comey can't communicate is fun, too. Shared magazine connection.
And finally, those popularity polls. She always ranks super high. Fans clearly connect with her.
Undeniably. 2nd, 5th, even 1st place in one poll. It shows how much this little elf resonates.
So, stepping back, looking at all this source material, Fern is just this incredible package, isn't she? You've got the immense power, the Slayer reputation.
But then you layer on that completely alien perspective on time, shaped by 1,000 years. And the personality underneath, the aloofness, the surprising sensitivities, the gambling.
And the weaknesses. They don't make her weaker somehow. They make her relatable, make her struggles feel more impactful. You see this ancient being trying to understand something as basic as human connection, all because of friends she lost.
Right. Her journey now isn't just about reaching Oriel. It feels like it's about processing grief, understanding memory, learning the value of moments she used to see as insignificant. It makes her so much more than just a powerful mage archetype.
Absolutely. It's why, her suitcase having both holy texts and a steak recipe makes perfect sense. It's the epic and the everyday all rolled into one.
And thinking about how Frieren, who lived over 1,000 years, learned to conceal her vast mana from demons, what does that tell us about the nature of power itself, and whether the greatest strength is sometimes the one you choose not to show?